Hello, this is Leslie Fontanilla, and today I'm going to talk about how to work your travel business even with a full time job. So, I'm Leslie, and I have been with Archer my Archer anniversary is coming up on May 21st. I joined in 2022, and first I just joined just for the perks and because I wanted to travel easily and at a discount back and forth. And then it wasn't until actually this past summer, the summer of 2024, where I was on a Zoom call and I decided I was going to put more energy and basically relaunch my travel business. I was looking around on different places online for another part-time something, and I do work full-time. I have a full-time job Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And so to make ends meet, I was looking for another part-time job, but then I was like, you know what? I already have access to this amazing travel business, and as long as I put energy into it, I'm sure I will see a return. So since this summer, I have been working the business. I've been doing bookings and growing a team, and I'm super grateful. So remote travel business is a great side hustle. So the reason that I picked or decided to put energy into this is because of the ability that we have with the flexible schedule. Literally, you decide when you want to work and what you want to work on. And then there's additional income streams in one place. So there are 7 income streams we have access through in this one spot. So we don't have to, go somewhere else and do the team building side or go somewhere else and um, to get instant commissions. It's all in one spot. So mindset is a big thing, and I've learned that energy flows where attention goes. So when you focus and put energy towards your travel business, um, you get a return out of it. You get something out of it, and the more energy you put and more attention goes there, the more return you get. And it can definitely be hard to juggle all the things, but when we make time and put the energy there, it comes back. So thinking about your why is a big part of it. And if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not deep enough. I've heard that in meetings. And you definitely want to figure out what is your why? Why are you doing this? For me, it's so that my son doesn't have to struggle like how I had to, working all these jobs, running around like crazy all the time, being stressed out all the time. I want him to be good. And I'm also breaking generational curses in my family. It would be awesome to say I'm the first millionaire in my family one day, and I think this is possible with this opportunity. So if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not deep enough. You also want to think about your fuel. I actually heard founder talk about this recently. You want to think about your fuel. So, what motivates you after you achieve your why? If your why is to become, you know, have more time with your family and friends, to travel or do whatever, and once you achieve that, what's going to keep you going? What is that fuel and motivation? The founder, in one of his recent meetings, it was a Mastering Mindset for Success with Jody Wariski recently, and she asked him, what would you say to people that are working this business part-time right now? And he said, give this the same energy that you give your boss, and don't exhaust yourself for someone else and then come home and not work on your dream. So you have a dream for a reason, and definitely you want to work on that when you make the time for it, because it is important. And yeah, you can go work give your all at your job, but don't like go above and beyond so that when you come home you can't work on stuff you want to work on. And for me, the travel business definitely lights me up, gets me more excited, right? Like I want to work on it, and it doesn't feel like work to me. I love researching trips, I love helping my agents out. um, and I rather do that all day, rather instead of going to my office job where I'm doing like boring accounting stuff and looking at spreadsheets. Oh, what happened? Okay. So just remember that you are the boss of your life and your business. So that's the amazing thing with this is that we are the boss. So we say who, when, all of those things. I encourage all of us to set our goals and crush them. Yearly goals. I like to look at the big picture, especially in the beginning of the year. And then monthly goals to just kind of keep me on track, seeing how I'm doing. And then breaking down the weekly goals and then daily goals. And I highly suggest attending accountability meetings because that has helped me a lot. And it just makes such a difference to when you can meet regularly with a team and get to know these other agents and also like speak your goals out loud, and they're going to definitely check on you and see like, oh, how's it going, how are you doing with this? You said you wanted to work on your Marriott. How are you doing with your Marriott? You said you were working on a cruise quote for someone. How's that coming along? And when you know you're going to be accountable and responsible for what you said and for what you did that week, and if you didn't, then how can you do better? And it's just such a supportive community. I really, really appreciate that a lot. So I definitely recommend accountability meetings to go to every week. You definitely want to prioritize what matters. For me, it's God first, then me, myself, and I, meaning my mental health, my emotional health, make sure I'm good. And then family. I have a son who's 12 who keeps me on my toes. And then my business, which is clients and agents and all of that. And then a little more about prioritizing. So, what I try to do is if the task takes 5 minutes or less, to try to do it right away and don't just put it off, because I noticed that when I put it off, something that could have taken 5 minutes now takes 10 minutes. And then it's just more to do, more time consuming. And then for more complicated projects, break it up into smaller bite sized pieces. So, for instance, I have my Calendly training in a couple weeks, and I already have sort of what I'm going to do by when. So, in a couple days, I'm going to have my outline figured out for my presentation. Then I'm going to start working on my slides, all of that. Make sure I email my team so that they know to join me and all of that kind of stuff. So I like to make like start dates for myself and then kind of know where I want to be all good by. So I would like to have that presentation all set to go, a day or two before the actual meeting, right? So I don't have to be stressing about that. And then always ask for help and delegate when possible. Because the community is so supportive and helpful, we have so many people that we can reach out to, whether they are your mentor or not, even a team, another agent or anyone that you think can help. That's what I love, is that we don't gatekeep. So everyone has been so helpful. And anytime I have a question, you can also put in the group chats. There's several group chats, there's Facebook groups. So just have to ask if you need help. So some tips for overcoming overwhelm, because when you're busy and you have a lot to do and a lot on your mind, it can get overwhelming at times. And for me, when I get too overwhelmed, that's when I can't do anything. And it's called paralysis analysis or something like that. So these are some things that help me kind of stay away from the overwhelm side as much. So take a deep breath. That's so like simple, but it definitely helps. So take a deep breath, go for a walk, even if it's like a 5-10 minute walk, just to move your body. I know for me, I sit a lot. I sit in my day job, and then when I'm working on this, I'm sitting. I'm trying to use a desk where I can stand up more. But yeah, it's always good to move your body. Brain dump. So on Sunday nights or anytime I feel like I'm getting really overwhelmed, like I notice that my brain, hi Elizabeth, I notice that my brain is like thinking about all the things all at once, and I'm like, right? So when I get to that point, I try to do it before, but if not, I do it at this point. I take out my notebook and I just write everything that I'm thinking about, everything that I'm worrying about, everything that comes to mind that, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. So I just write it all down, get it all out of my brain and on paper. And then I can take a look at it and say and see, like, okay, so I need to work on, this client, and this client. That goes together. I can work on that. Maybe they're all going to the same location, or maybe they have, different things that I need to research for each one. So then I have that all together. Then maybe, like, I know my agents, I need to talk to this person, and this person about whatever. So then I group that together and I figure out when I can do what and arrange it that way. The night before, I like to prioritize my three most important tasks that I need to get done for the next day so that I have sort of a focus instead of all of these things. I focus on the three top ones that I really want to focus on and then accomplish those. And then if I have a chance to do other things on my list, then I'll go ahead and do that. Another big thing for overcoming overwhelm is to just talk to our mentor or another trusted person. Like, there are times where I have to call someone or text someone and vent to them because of whatever situation, right? And it's really helpful to talk to somebody that understands, right? It takes a different mindset to work this business. As entrepreneurs, it can be very up and down and around and around. So somebody else that's on their entrepreneur journey that can understand and relate to, it's super helpful to talk to them. And it's a vice versa thing too, right? So if you reach out to somebody, they should be able to also reach out to you if they are feeling overwhelmed. um, Another thing is to stay positive, like Miss Carmen says, positive Pollyanna. So you want to stay positive and practice gratitude even when you're overwhelmed. If I find something that I'm grateful for in that overwhelm moment, it makes the overwhelm not feel so big. So those are some tips that I like to use when I'm trying to overcome overwhelm. um, so going back a little bit to what I said earlier, you're the boss. You're the boss of your business. You're the boss of your life. So that means that you say when, you decide your schedule and all of that kind of stuff. So just go with the flow and keep swimming. Life is gonna life no matter what. Things are gonna come up unexpectedly, right? So it's good to have a plan and also be flexible as much as possible. So about the schedule, you decide what are your office hours for your travel business. You figure out which day or days you're going to take off or when you're going to take off. Um, Maybe also figure out when you want to have your time for booking travel, when you want to focus on that. And also if you're doing the team building side, when you want to focus on the team building and helping other agents. I have also had to make the time, right? Because I'm working full time and I have my son, like I said, he has soccer practice, all the things, right? So I have to make the time, squeeze it in where I can. So I'll wake up earlier. I've had to wake up earlier for some clients and agents because I'm in Hawaii. So on the East Coast, it's 6 hours ahead from now. So there's quite a bit of time difference, but do what you got to do, basically, right? On my way commuting to work, I have about a 20-minute drive to work, and back. It's usually longer on the way back because of traffic, but during that commute, I have some time. I will either be checking in with my agents or listening to a training that I missed or want to refresh on, or on a call. Sometimes on Thursdays, I'll be listening to Tommy Joe at 6 o'clock when I'm on my way to work. I've also had to stay up later. When my son and boyfriend are asleep, at 10 o'clock at night, I have quiet and peace time. So I will stay up late sometimes and work on my stuff. My lunch break. So at my job, I have a half an hour lunch break. So on that lunch break, that's where I check in with myself, make sure I posted something, at least something that day so far. Either or definitely on my social media, either on my personal page or hopefully I posted into groups about the opportunity, or maybe a mock booking that I put together, or maybe on my lunch break, I'm working on putting the mock booking together. Um, Sometimes I'm also talking to my agents if they have questions. And the nice thing about my job is, and I'm very fortunate that I can text at my job. So, and I tell my agents that, like, sorry if I can't call or can't answer your phone call, but I can text you. I can text. So just send me a text. And so we can be texting. So that's super helpful. And also sometimes I have some earbuds that I put in my ear and I'll listen to trainings if I can, if it's not too busy. So lunch break, I dedicate to my travel business. After work, also, if I'm able to connect with agents then or clients, right? And then weekends, I have more time because I'm working Monday through Friday, so I can work around my son's soccer schedule, soccer practices, and all that. So the thing to keep in mind about the time piece is that the sacrifices that we make today makes a difference tomorrow. Like, I can't wait for the day that I can fire my boss, and I will be doing this full time and, taking my son on cruises whenever the heck we feel like it, right? Like, that's the goal. So definitely use the tools that you have. I have my phone with me all the time. So that is a big tool, right? I use my phone to set my reminders when I have meetings coming up, when I have calls I need to make, follow-up calls, check in with so-and-so who went to a Zoom meeting, check in with this agent. She said she was working on this booking, that kind of thing. So I set myself reminders for that because I definitely cannot remember all of it. So my calendar and my phone, I use Google Calendar as well as my phone calendar. And then I also have a paper planner that I write in as well when I have the time and when I can find it. Let's just be real. But my phone and my phone calendar, I always have on me. So that's like my go-to. And then I have a ton of notebooks where I write stuff down as well to try to stay organized. Other tools that we have BranchUp and Ralio. So, anything you can do to automate your business is really helpful. So BranchUp and Ralio, we can put that on our social media, have that post for us, and have people look at our stuff and keep us on top of mind. Calendly is another one where we can schedule out, send out reminders. So like if they have a meeting coming up, we can set it up so they get an email and a text reminder. Either you set up when you want, but mine are for the day before they get a reminder, and then also an hour before they get a reminder. And then Canva is also a great tool that can help with time saving. There's a lot of templates on there that you can search for whatever you're trying to create, like business card. You can search for a business card and then it'll give you a bunch of templates, and then you change it to make it your own and, design it how you want. And then there are other like CRMs, and where you do have to pay for these. Traveljoy and Travefy are the ones that I have heard of. I have not gotten a CRM yet, but I have heard of them, and I've seen different quotes and stuff that agents put together using them, and they are super professional looking. And when I can, I will definitely get one of those. So a few small tips and tricks. So I have a document, a Google Doc saved in my Google Drive that has all my links in one place. So I don't have to be searching for it when someone's asking me for it, right? So I have my enrollment link there. I have the informational Zoom links. I have a link to my quote form if someone's interested in, booking a trip with me and they need a free quote. There's the link. So yeah, I keep a Google Doc of that. I use that. I open that thing up almost every day, seems like. And then I also have templates and scripts that I use for different things that I'm posting, like when people reply to my post, and also when they either on Facebook Messenger or when they text me. And then I also have contacts in my phone that have Archer's IATA number and all the phone numbers. So the regular number as well as the cruise number, or the office number as well as the cruise number. And then all the Zoom meeting numbers with passwords, especially since the passwords changed recently. Make sure that you have that all updated so that you have it all easy, ready to go for you. So I also wanted to mention this training. So Platinum Lynn Huddleston. Her nickname is 4 Foot. She's so fun. I met her at the Southern California boot camp in January of this year, and she's amazing. She has this training on YouTube that's about time management that goes more into all of this kind of stuff. And she's a platinum, and she's been working, and she works full time with kids in a school. I forget which school, but I believe she's from Detroit, Michigan, or somewhere in that area. And I mean, just to be a platinum and working full time, I thought that was so inspirational. So I highly recommend her training on YouTube. Just look her up, Lynn Huddleston. And in conclusion, just do what you can with what you have, where you are. We're all human, so and life is gonna life, and there are things that are out of our control, but we can do our best and never give up, and definitely celebrate every win. If you managed to get a mock booking out, that's a win. If someone reached out to you because of it, that's a win. You had somebody ask you about the opportunity, that's a win. Like your agent gets a booking inquiry, like that's a win. So just keep it positive, and when you're positive, I believe good things come back. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. This was short and sweet. Does anyone have any comments, questions? Can unmute if so.
No questions, Leslie, but you did a great job.